Okay, so yesterday we talked about tables and equations that have to do with one step, like we're just multiplying, we're just dividing, we're just adding, we're just subtracting. Most of our examples were just like multiplying. So to go from like one independent variable to the dependent variable, you'd like multiply by 5 or multiply by 6 or something like that. Whereas today's equations are going to have two steps. We're going to multiply by something, but then we're also going to be adding something in at the end. Okay, other than that, we're doing the exact same thing as we did yesterday. Jordan sells 5 boxes of Girl Scout cookies each week. She had already pre-sold 10 boxes. So the two variables that we have are number of boxes and weeks. We have to think like, which one am I going to put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for? Because whatever goes in this side, which is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is the independent variable. Okay, so that's a little easier way to think about it when you're having to decide which one's the independent and dependent. And so are we going to say it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes and then the number of weeks is going to change? No, because she sells 5 boxes every week. So for the boxes, we're going to be counting by 5s. Okay, so the weeks is what's going to be the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning the weeks is the independent variable. Remember, the independent variable is always the x. Okay. Then our dependent variable is the boxes. The number of boxes she sells is going to depend on the number of weeks. Remember, that is the y. Okay. Jordan sells 5 boxes of Girl Scout cookies each week. Here's where it gets different. She had already pre-sold 10 boxes. So what that means is that after 0 weeks, she had already sold 10 boxes. Since she's already sold those 10 boxes, after week 1, she will have sold those 10 boxes, but then she also sold another 5 during that week. So that will be 15. During week 2, she already sold those 10 boxes, but then she would have sold 2 weeks worth of these 5 boxes. And 2 times 5 is 10. So since 2 times 5 is 10, we then add in the 10 boxes she already sold, is 20. And you can start noticing a pattern. That way you don't have to keep redoing that math every single time. We're noticing that it's going up by 5s. So then the next one will be 25, 30, 35. Always wait to get at least like 3 numbers before you decide on a pattern, because it might be true for like the first number and then you might be doing something wrong for the next one. Okay. So our equation, you can use the letters that they give you always if you would like to. I always just like to use the x and y because that way it's always the same. An equation is always y equals. It's the dependent variable equals. So if we were using these, it would be b equals because the dependent variable is what it equals. That's what's changing. That's what our answer is going to be. Okay. Then we have our 5 boxes that we're selling each week. So the first thing we're going to be doing is multiplying the number of weeks by how many boxes they sell each week. So that would be 5 times x, because x is the number of weeks. If we're doing it with the b and the w, which is totally fine, we would do 5 times w. But then that's not all. That's what we did yesterday. We would have stopped there. But since she had pre-sold those 10 boxes, we didn't just do 2 times 5 is 10, because we have an answer of 20. We didn't just do 3 times 5 is 15. What we had to do was 2 times 5 was 10, and then add in those 10 boxes that she already sold. She sold those just once. So we're not multiplying those 10 boxes by the number of weeks because she just sold those boxes once. It's not happening every week. It would happen before it even started. Okay, so these would be the 2 equations that you would use. You only have to write one of them. Again, it's up to you whether you want to use X and Y or the letters. On a quiz or test, I would accept it either way. If you're feeling confident, you can go ahead and try the next one on your own. I'm going to walk you through this one as well if you are feeling like you still need some help. Or if you want to get it started and then fast forward to where you got stuck, totally fine as well. Miss Lincoln's growing a palm tree. It grows 7 inches each week. The palm tree started at 3 inches. Okay, so it's a little bit different than the problem we had yesterday. We know inches and weeks is our 2 like unknown variables. Okay, so we think about like which one am I going to put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, if it grows 7 inches every week, we're going to be counting by 7s there. So it's not going to be that one. It's going to be weeks. that we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of the time, if you have weeks, minutes, months, that is usually your independent variable because that's what we're like usually counting by to see how much it changes. Just for a little hint. Remember, our independent variable is always x, so I'm just going to keep that there too. So then inches would be our dependent variable, which again is our y. Okay, and it grows 7 inches each week. But after the first week, or at no weeks, it starts at 3 inches. So it's starting at 3 inches after 0 weeks. And then it's growing 7 each week from there. So after 1 week, it's going to grow that 7 inches plus the 3 inches we already have to be 10 inches. After 2 weeks, it's going to grow 7 inches twice. So 2 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Then plus the 3 inches that it already was at. 14 plus 3 is 17. Then we'd have 3 weeks, so 3 sevens, 3 groups of 7 inches would be 21 inches, plus the 3 inches we already have, 24. I don't know why that took me so long. If you start noticing a pattern, we are going up by 7s because that's how much it's changing each week that we add on, because every week it grows 7. So we would just add 7 here to be 31, add 7 more to be 38. Okay, now when we write our equation, again, you can use x and y, or you can use w and I, if that makes more sense to you to just use the ones that's in the problem. It's always going to be our dependent variable equals. So either y equals or I equals. And then we're taking the number of weeks, and how many inches does it grow each week? 7. So we're taking the number of weeks and multiplying it by 7. So you can write 7x, you can write 7 times x, you can write x times 7. However you want to write that out is fine. If we're using the I and the W, that would be 7w. Again, you can put the time symbol in, you can switch the order, all that good stuff, multiplication, it's all the same. Last but not least, we have to add in those 3 inches that it already started at. And that would be our equation. Again, you only have to put one of these answers, not both of them. All right, now finish the rest of the packet on your own.